Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Just like every principal in the world, in a faculty meeting, put your phones down, 10 minutes of attention. All right. And I was here yesterday in a fantastic panel presentation, and today I'm here to talk about being a pragmatic principal. One of the things that we focus on in a conference like this is IT and technology and AI and how we're all stressed about it. But the regular part of a principal's job is doing the day-to-day grind work and not going crazy about it. So I have 10 rules for this, which is actually 12. Principals are allowed to break the rules. Starting with the 10 rules of being a pragmatic principal. What you have up there on the screen is sports day at my first school here in the UAE, the ADNOC schools. And boys all had their football shirts on. So they all have professional football players. One of them happened to be a professional football player from Brazil with the last name of James. Another was a professional player from Italy, Pastore. So how often does a principal see his first and last name on the shirts? So I grabbed them both and I said, turn around, we're taking a picture. And we had a lot of fun that day. And we played football games and cricket matches and everything. I went the wrong way? Yeah, being a principal is easy. I love this one. It's like riding a bike. Oh. Technology fail. Riding a bike. The bike is on fire. You're on fire. Everything's on fire. Anyone here that's a principal that's had one of those days where all you're doing is running around with your hair on fire, taking care of things for people. You came to school with a big agenda. I'm going to meet with this person. I'm going to meet with this group. I'm going to work with this committee. I'm going to take care of AI, whatever that is today. I have a parent meeting. Everything's on fire. You're missing teachers. Kids are sick. Buses are late. Someone pulls a fire alarm. But your job as the principal is to take care of it. Rule number 1, respect the workers and staff. The teachers are the most important people in the classrooms. My father was a principal in the public schools in Philadelphia, the United States, for 30 years. He used to tell me the most important people in his school were his secretary, because she knew where everything was and knew everything, his custodian or maintenance man, and his counselor was his right-hand man. They did everything together, walking around the school. But of all those three, probably the most important was custodian maintenance man to get things done. They didn't have air conditioning in this building. So in the hot spring going in the summer, you had these gigantic windows that the teachers, it was a primary school. They were all female teachers. They couldn't open them because they were all heavy. So he used to come into school in the morning and help the custodian open everybody's windows. Just little things like that. Now, every principal can't do that, but you find your own way to help your workers get their job done. Because they're there for you, you have to be there for them. Rule number 2, be out front. Be out front in the morning. Be seen by the children and the parents. Parents learn very quickly that they cannot have you for 10 minutes out in front of school. It's good to see you this morning, Mr. Muhammad. Yeah, you want to talk? You're going to have to give me 15 minutes. I'll see you in the office, but I got to say hi. Look, there's 100 kids coming. Thanks, buddy. They get that. Parents understand. There's that one parent in every school that when you're talking to them, you have to keep going like this because the whole universe is going around their head because they are the center of the universe. There's one in every school, but you learn to deal with that one parent. The most important thing as a principal, though, is being out in front. We used to do at my last little private school here in Dubai, Clarion School, all kinds of fun days. And one was reading day for reading week. So I had the inspiration to take a carpet and a chair and books in front of the school when everyone's pulling in and I'd be reading a book when the kids came in. They thought that was the best thing in the world. Okay? And the other picture is, remember when we were opening up 3 years ago, COVID summer? Here in Dubai, we weren't sure if we were going to be open until the week before school. And that was how we all felt. We're all waiting for the students to come back. Did I go too far? Oh. Be visible. That ties in so the students see you. Did I? Okay. Okay, yeah, all right. A standing desk. I don't like sitting down. You can see I'm wiggly up here. So I had an IKEA table that my art teacher and his kids painted for me. And we put that on the right-hand side. We put that in the main lobby at the Emirates National School up in Ras Al Khaimah. Now, I put it there because I hated being upstairs in my office away from everyone. What I quickly found was that front center of the school, 2 hallways crossed, and all the primary kids, when they went to the library, to PE, to the canteen, came by. So I got to see all 600 primary children several times a day by working at that desk. Now, first, they all wanted to run up and say, but I would hand signal, and they're all quiet, especially the first graders, all right? But you're visible. And then you could tell them later on, I saw you go by my desk, you were great, you did a great job, I watched you go into the library, I hope you can touch base with them. So being visible. And I do that by having a standing desk. Other way around. Oh, I had it backwards. Okay. All right. Now let's see. So being visible so the students see you. You need to be out there during the school day. So not just at a standing desk, but you have to be the best places for a principal to see all the kids. Recess time, break time, change of classes, lunchtime. When you throw in the beginning of the day and the end of the day, you see every child in the school. Up in Ras Al Khaimah, I had 1,500 students by the time I left that school. 4 sections. I could spend a half hour in each section during one of those breaks and see every child. And the little ones in particular go home and say, Mommy, Mr. Jim was out there at break today. He kicked the ball. He scored a goal. All right? Or he fell on his face. Okay? Even the big kids. Yeah, I saw Mr. Jim today. He's still a geek. Okay. So they get to see you. The teachers see you interacting with them also. Now, on the right side was the slightly psychotic invention of a group of 8th grade boys at the Adnock School. They took a wheelchair and they attached it. You know those little scooters you could stand on? None of us have done it, but your kids have, right? A couple of years ago, they were very popular, and you could balance on them and ride around. They attached it to the wheelchair, and they thought it would be a great way for someone who's disabled to get around on their own. Well, I kind of pointed out that if someone's in a wheelchair, they can't use their legs, so steering's going to be hard with their feet. But it was a really cool invention. I only crashed 3 times. But I made sure I went to every table at the science fair. 65 tables. You got to go to every one. You can't miss anyone. You got to be visible. We had lots of dress-up days at Clarion School, primary school. So for book day, I dressed up as Waldo from Where's Waldo? All right, and all the kids dressed up, and they had art, and we put it in the front, in the street, in front of the school. And that's being visible. Have your own personal motto that becomes yours. And mine's the 4 F's. And I actually stole this from one of my first overseas headmasters, Mr. Bill Rose, God rest his soul, in Costa Rica Academy back in the early 2000s. And he used to always say, Jim, you got to be fair, you got to be firm, early 90s, sorry, even farther back. Fair, firm, and flexible. So I added the 4th F, be fun. And I've used that phrase in my whole career. So having your key phrase, I tell everyone, I'm going to be fair, sometimes going to be firm, we're all going to try to be flexible, but we're with children. Let's have fun too. The kindergartners in Clarion, I had put a newsletter out to all the teachers that they could drop letters off in my office. So the kids said to the teacher, Mr. Jim does it on a mailbox. So being a very hands-on school, she said, well, make him a mailbox. So they made me a mailbox for kindergartners. It was this far off the ground. So one of the girls said, Mr. Jim's really tall. So they spent 3 weeks on it. They kept building it. We could barely get it in my office, cardboard. Painted all different colors, but they delivered it. It was their mailbox, and they used to bring mail and put it in the lower slot, and I would move it to the upper slot. On the right-hand side, we had a lot of building things at that school. We had these one design toy that you could build dinosaurs out of. So with a couple kids, we had fun one day after school, building all kinds of dinosaurs and taking pictures. So we had fun. I turn it off? There we go. Do walk-arounds every day. Now, showing you a boring picture of me walking down the hallway wouldn't fit with the rest of the presentation. We had Halloween at our school, and there I am with the first graders, okay? Yeah. But we also had other building things. I have a video of this sixth grade class cleaning all that up in the main reception. It was all over the place, 100 and some of these building blocks, and showing them how to put it away. Very important. But by doing walk-arounds, you see the groups and what they're doing, and you get to see all of your children. Sticky note agenda. This size sticky note. I know they make them this size. I know they make them this big to put on the wall. I mean this. I haven't held a faculty meeting in at least 15 years where I used a bigger agenda than this. 10-minute stand-up meetings at the end of the day. I hold them near the logout place, whether it's finger, your face, or whatever you got to touch or sign out, and everyone would be standing meeting. The teachers got to know, if we're late, then his meeting's going to go longer after work. So be on time. But that also blocked me in to an amount of time. This is my agenda. So as an example, I wrote one for today. So I want to thank you all for being here, just like you thank your teachers for something. I want to thank Elets for this wonderful organization, for putting this on the last couple of days. I want to thank the sponsors that are out there. And then don't forget, if you drove today, to get your validation stamped, or else you can't get your car. Little things like that. So you can't go yet. I'm not done, but you know what I mean. So 10-minute stamp. Now, again, you're going to have PD sessions that you might have to lead as a principal in your auditorium. You might have one of those. It's got to be an hour. Hopefully your vice principal and your curriculum people are leading those. But these are the regular getting things done meetings. I'm not going to stand there and read pages of things that I've already emailed them. That's stupid. And we may do some stupid things, but we aren't stupid, hopefully, as leaders. Trust your senior leadership team, your SLT. You got to trust them. You can't do everything. Even in that small school, my last school, Clarion, I had two people, Suzanne and Netta. Suzanne was the vice principal, and Netta was the curriculum coordinator. And we used to divvy up, divide and conquer, but more importantly, we had a lot of fun together. Because again, if you're not having a good time, you shouldn't be in a school. If you can't enjoy being around, teachers will make you miserable. I'm sorry, if anyone here is a classroom teacher, sometimes you make us miserable. You bring your misery to us. And the best we can do is listen sometimes. And then, okay, thank you. All right, what do you want me to do about it? I don't like your husband either. Okay? That's not my fault you're married. All right? Okay? But don't take it out on me and the kids. All right? You can't say that. That's in your head. That's in your head. Okay? But all kidding aside, your senior leadership team can be counted on to get things done. And they count on you to get things done. And I don't have to be right all the time, and they didn't have to be right all, well, they were right all the time. It was two women, so they were right all the time, and I was never right. But again, all kidding aside, you got to trust them. In Ras Al Khaimah, I had four, one of each section of the school. And at Admont School, I had one, Jeff. And every morning we'd meet in the front reception, shake hands, and say, this could be the day. I was the 9th principal in 4 years at the school. They used to eat the principals at that school, and he was the 7th vice principal in 4 years. Okay? So we never knew if we were going to make it through the day. So we'd smile and say, today could be the day. We live in a hotel, so who cares? All right, pack your bags and go on. But we trusted each other to get things done and to back each other up. Simplify formal observations. The pre-kindergarten, my second year at Clarion, the children asked the teacher, imagine this, does Mr. Jim get a report card? Because they were doing one for teachers. And the teacher, without batting an eye, oh, diddly-dee, she's Irish. Oh, let's do him a report card. So one of the boys volunteered to do a report card. I got all 10s. From listening and being kind and having fun. He drew Batman on the front because that's what I did at Halloween, and he still remembered. Okay? And there I am getting my report card. I sent that picture to my mom. That was my desk chair in that office. Little progressive school, you can do that. So, but simplify your observations. You can have teacher observations that are this simple. Now, your school district, if you're in a big public system, or one of the outstanding schools here in Dubai, will have an observation form that is this long. All right? You might have that. But you can simplify how you go in and observe your teachers, not just the formal ones. Simplify it the most you can. If you have an effect where you can, if you yourself as an administrator can help cut down that observation load, do it. The only observations teachers remember is when you chop them down. And they'll remember it till the day they die. Like one of their last dying breaths is how much they hated that principal for giving them that bad observation when they had such tough 11th graders that year. So remember that. Back your teachers, but expect professional pride from them. So, COVID spring, 2019, everyone's home. Our teachers lived in apartment buildings right next door to the school in Ras Al Khaimah. So I had this crazy idea, what can we do for the teachers? Because usually Teachers' Day, they come to school, kids, everyone gives them gifts, and they're all in their apartments, they're all alone. They're all going crazy. So about 9 o'clock at night, Mr. Job, who was the art teacher, also painted that table for me. Mr. Job and I had gathered together lime and water and buckets, and we made paint. And we painted thank you teachers on the street inside the school. Every letter was about 15 feet wide. It took us till like 4 in the morning. I can't believe not a single teacher saw us out there all night. I told them, that's how clueless you are. You go in your apartments, you shut your curtains, you never look outside. We were out there for 9 hours painting. Right? But it was there for months because the school was closed. So every morning when they got up and opened their curtains, sunrise, and thank you teachers. It was actually, when Job and I were talking about doing this, it was his idea to do it on the street there. I was like, really? You want to do that all night? And he's like, Mr. Jim, I'm home with my wife, who's a teacher, and 2 kids. I have only been outside to go grocery shopping in the last 3 months. I'll do whatever you want. Okay? So we had fun. So that was our way of backing the teachers. But we expected them to do their jobs. Myself and my SLT guy. So back them, show your appreciation, but be fair, be firm, and be flexible. Be nice, smile. First day of kindergarten, half the kindergartners cry. It's like mom is leaving. She's walking out the door. They don't know she's ever coming back again. So nowadays we all have that. We didn't have it when I was a kid. You stand in front of the camera, everyone takes a picture of your first day, and everything's got to be recorded. But there I am at Clarion, when the teachers would run out of water in the hallways and none of the workers were, I would just grab a bottle and go take it. My owner didn't like that. Tough. Remember, you back your workers up. You back them up. And then rule 12, don't sweat the small stuff. Some of the little things will drive you crazy, but it's got to be like water off a duck's back. You got to let it go. You can't live in misery. Is it life-threatening? If not, in 99.99999% of the time, it can wait. People will come with you with emergencies all day long. Teachers about this for curriculum. Is someone dying? Is someone going to die if we don't do this right now? Now, a brain surgeon might answer yes. A pilot in midair might answer, yeah, 300 people. But there's not a whole lot of jobs where life is on the line, and certainly not in education. So people have to learn to step back and relax a little bit and enjoy things. And this is actually the last slide. That's Ronnie. He was a pre-K student that year. When he started school, if you type in ADHD on the Google machine, his picture comes up with his hair on fire. He drove his teacher crazy, his assistant crazy, drove everyone crazy in the school except me, even though he seemed to spend half his day with me, the first half of the year. But he was there every day. Ronnie had perfect attendance. We could not get him sick to stay home ever. He loved coming to school. Obviously, he was there for all the dress-up days, pajama day, Halloween. We didn't plan to both come as Batman, by the way. It was just dumb luck. His parents pulled up. They said, excuse my French right now, they said they thought he was going to pee his pants in the car. Because when he saw Batman in front of the school, and he was dressed like Batman, he couldn't believe it. All right, that's the kind of connection we had. So the last week of school, he comes running in my office and he slows down. I said, what's up, Ronnie? Because I'm used to him coming because he's in trouble. First thing he says is, Mr. Jim, I'm not in trouble. Teacher sent me for a broom because 2 other students made a mess in the room, not me. And I grabbed the nearest broom, a dustpan, said, don't run, which he did, and he took him back to class. It just took patience and time. Well, what I didn't do during the year was sweat all the little details about Ronnie being a little boy. 8 hours a day at school, 4 years old. Okay? He needed that space. He was gifted physically. The PE teachers could not differentiate enough for him. But in the classroom, he was just a mess. Okay? So that's the pragmatic principle. Originally, it was supposed to be a half hour. They told me 15 minutes. I think I did about the middle of that. I hope you enjoyed it. And if I could say one last thing, it's just, if you're a principal or an aspiring principal, enjoy the children. Get the teachers to back off a little. Get the parents to chill out a little bit. Whenever you're having a bad day, if you're blessed by having a kindergarten in your school, go down there and you're a rock star. If you walk in, the lesson falls to pieces because the kids want to show you what they're doing and they want you to do what they're doing. And you leave kindergarten like, first grade too. All right? 6th grade, not so much. 6th grade, no, Mr. Jim. He's such an idiot. All right? That's the teacher. But enjoy the kids. So thank you very much. Thank you.